Riverside.
Welcome back, guys, to 3 in the Key. Welcome. You can find us everywhere. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music /Audible. You can find us. Make sure you like, subscribe, review, comment, do everything, man. Just be a part of the community. We're excited to have you guys. I'm Kaim, and I'm the host that just turned 25.
Yes, sir.
Episode, so, wish me a happy birthday in the comments.
What's up, y'all? I'm Jay. I'm the host that thinks cheaters always win.
You got that right. Go blue. What's up, everyone? My name is Grant, and I'm the host that thinks Adam Silver and the officials have to be cheating for the Lakers at this point. He can't have Bron missing the playoffs. The free throw disparity between the Raptors and the Lakers was just insane.
There were some close calls yesterday where if I was a Raptors fan, I'd probably be mad. I think the disparity is overblown because they started playing the foul game at the end. But I do think a couple of calls were definitely.
Hey, man. Adam Silver knows that he's missing out on a lot of revenue if Bron misses the playoffs. And the Lakers are, man, they're teetering on that 10 spot.
Yeah. He's like, okay, we're not doing this again. So, look, we got a packed episode for you guys. First half, we're going to talk about the MVP voting. We're a little bit over a third of the way through the season, man. Time is flying. We're almost at the All-Star break. Do your All-Star voting, man. Get who you want to get in there. But then at halftime, we're going to talk about Katt Williams and his explosive interview on Club Shay Shay's podcast with Shannon Sharp. This man sent shots for everybody, and we'll get into it. And then we're going to finish off. Draymond Green's coming back. Money 23 Green's coming back, and the Warriors are kind of desperate for him. They're desperate for a change. They got players calling out the coaches. They got people punching people. So we'll see how long he can go without throwing another flying back fist. But let's start the show, although we're happy, on a bit of a down note, man. Ja Morant. Ja Morant tore his labrum after, what is this, like his 7th game? And now he's out for the whole season, man. What's y'all's first reaction to Ja being gone?
Hey, my reaction is we'll never know who was right, me or Grant. We'll never know. So honestly, the only reason I'm kind of hyped for it is because it was looking like Grant was about to be right.
Yeah, bro. They were climbing.
My first reaction is you are right. I was going to be right. They were going to make the playoffs, bro. They were going to make the playoffs with that. With Ja for another, let's see, we're a third of the way. Another 50 games, another 40 games. They were going to make the playoffs. But, I mean, it's tragic. You kind of feel bad for Ja because he missed the first 25. He played, I think you said 7, but I think 7, 8, 9, something like that. Something around there. Played 9 games and looked good, averaging 25 points, looked great.
Looks good.
And the Grizzlies are, you can tell, they're nothing without him. They're a poverty team without him. They're right there with the Spurs, the Blazers. Do I dare say the Wizards and the Hornets? The Pistons are on a whole nother level, so we're not even they're not even categorized. But they're not a good team. So I actually feel bad for the city of Memphis because this is now turned into a throwaway season. When you got Ja back, it was like, oh, we have a chance to make the playoffs. And I felt like in the playoffs, anything could happen with Memphis. I feel like they could maybe win the first round, sneak into the second round, maybe even sneak past the second round. They're that good of a team with Ja. But now it's a complete throwaway season. And it's so sad to know it's a throwaway season this early in the season. We're not even at the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Imagine, I mean, I'm a Raiders fan, and imagine 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, you can't even watch the games anymore. We still got 15 weeks left or 14 weeks left. So
no Max Crosby.
Yeah, it's I feel bad for the city of Memphis.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate, man. I was looking forward to Ja. I mean, the thing about Ja is I have always been a little bit worried about him with his play style. kind of in a similar way, although for very different reasons. I'm a little bit worried about Wembanyama, his ability to stay healthy with that kind of body. And Ja is just like Ja is less than 200 pounds, and he's jumping out the gym. He's jumping with reckless abandon. He's trying to like all those bang bang plays that could be a charge, could be a block. I feel like this is not an official stat at all, but I feel like he could be leading the league in those. Like he's going, he's jumping, he just plays with reckless abandon. And the thing is, it could be that, or it could just be bad luck. Either way, it's unfortunate, man. You hate to see it. I was on Ja because I'm like, bro, all you have to do is do something very easy to stay on the court, bro. His suspensions, we're going to talk about Draymond suspensions. Some of these suspensions are easily avoidable. So I wasn't like the biggest Ja fan in the world, but I mean, you hate to see somebody gone for the season. The only silver lining for the Grizzlies is now they might get a great pick. It's early enough in the year that they could just go ahead and pull the plug and get a great pick because I think their team needs it. I think their team needs it right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm also happy it's not his legs. It's not his knees. It's not his feet. It's a shoulder injury. I mean, and that's for him. He's not known to be a shooter. It's a shooting shoulder, but he's not known to be a shooter. He needs his legs. He needs his feet. It's not going to be because I think what everyone's nervous about is another D-Rose situation where explosive guard, explosive kind of slightly undersized guard, and then you mess up a knee and then you're not as explosive. Exactly. That's what his game is.
Yeah, man. So, okay. That was great. City of Memphis, man. 2 seed the past couple of years. They're definitely going to take a tumble this year. We'll see if they can come back next year. But get well soon, Ja. And that was our what was that? A bonus. That was a bonus to the first half. That was low-key the pregame. That was the pregame show. We got some shots up. But now hopping right into this first half, we're going to talk about this MVP voting. There's an MVP ladder. It kind of changes throughout the season. But this early, do y'all have an idea of who you think deserves the MVP?
I'll break it down into 2 categories. I'll break it down as who I personally think deserves the MVP and who I think is going to win the MVP. If I'm being honest, who I think deserves the MVP, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's averaging 31 points per game, like 6 or 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and he's also leading one of the top teams in the Western Conference, the second best record in the Western Conference. He is just that guy. And if you watch him score and watch him play basketball, it looks so easy. He blows by the best defenders in the league, not even going like full speed. It's easy blow-bys. He's shooting the highest percentage, or like 80% on turnaround jumpers in the paint as a guard throughout the season.
Dang.
So he looks like that guy. Now, the issue I have, or the issue the NBA has, is if Shai wins the MVP, you have to look at it like this. Oklahoma City, smaller market, smaller city. How will that affect NBA viewing, NBA revenue? And also, you're skipping over players like Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, all these people who were kind of next in line to win MVP, and now you've kind of skipped over them. So that's one of the big issues I see. Now, who I think is going to win the MVP and who I think the NBA will force feed us the MVP will be either Embiid again, because he's just averaging so many points, like 35 points per game is crazy, like 11 rebounds. They're going to force feed us Jokic, but Jokic hasn't been playing as well this season. He's kind of taking more of a back seat. Or it will be Luka, because what Luka's doing for the Dallas Mavericks right now is crazy, and his usage rate is crazy.
You know,
Sheesh.
I respect that. I respect that. You know, I'm high on Shea, but my problem is, like you say, skip the line. We've seen people skip the line before, and honestly, it means nothing. Like Jokic skipped the line. If we're being real, Jokic came out of nowhere. He skipped the line. Nobody was like, "Oh, yeah, this season, Nikola Jokic is going to be the MVP." Like, no, people weren't thinking that until like halfway through the season. And even though you say he's like taking a back seat, I do think that he still deserves MVP. Like I watched them play in some games. He looks like he's not. He's getting to that point to me now where he's like Braun, where he doesn't try and they're still winning. Like he's like, I'll try in the playoffs because like I was watching the other night. This man shot the ball less than 10 times and he's the best player and they won like by like significant. It wasn't close. It wasn't close. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go out here and drop 8 and 16 assists. Y'all boys got it. Like
y'all got it.
I think he's MVP still.
But is 8 and 16 an MVP worthy performance?
He's not always going out there and dropping 8 and 16. He's still damn near averaging a triple double. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to it, if you take him off that team, the Nuggets fall significantly. And the ranking for MVP used to be like, oh, who's the best player on the best team? They didn't say who value, like they that was what they went by. Who's the best player on the best team? And I know that's changed throughout the years. So like last year, Embiid, like he was the best player, but it wasn't the best team. We all knew it wasn't the best team. That's just not how MVP works anymore. And so I think Jokic or Shea will get it. I think Luka, his usage rate has been high since he entered the league. And they win, but like at the end of the day, nobody thinks they're a top contender. I don't, at least. For them to be a top contender for me, it would be if I would say late, like a lot of their like playoff games, they keep them close, and then Luka can like finish it at the end. But what happens usually is they keep it close with like teams that are at about the same level. For example, the Clippers, and then Luka like turns up on them, or a team that's not as good as everybody thinks, like the Suns, and they beat them. But when they get to like the Nuggets or even the Lakers, it's like, or even the Grizzlies, I would say, they get pummeled because it's like, all right, they have Luka. Our whole team is significantly better.
Yeah, that's it, bro. I feel like Luka's play style. Bro, Luka's play style is not MVP worthy, bro. And that's coming from a serious fan. I think Luka is in the argument for going to be the best player in the league, but this man is a pounder, bro. He is straight like James Harden on the Rockets. And it's just tough to win like that. It's tough to win when your whole team is one person. That's why we see LeBron James has been to the finals 10 times, but only has 4, or he might have been 11 times, only has 4 championships. Because if your team is one person, to Jay's point, eventually you're going to reach a point where a team can beat that one person. I think Shea is a great pick. He's wilding out. He's averaging 32 points a game. But at the end of the day, I have to go back-to-back MVPs for Joel Embiid, bro. Joel, and I feel like here's what I think. I actually think it's not that close.
Yep.
Like I think Joel Embiid is the MVP, and the only argument against him is that he won it last year. Because when we came into this, we said we were going to talk about this topic. I was like, okay, I'm kind of thinking the same. I'm thinking, okay, probably Shea. I got to look at this. Bro, think about Jokic. I don't know. But then I saw Joel's numbers, bro. Joel Embiid is averaging 35 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game. At that point, like his numbers look like Jokic's numbers from last year, probably plus or minus a couple of rebounds. I feel like the fact that he kept the 76ers the exact same team without James Harden and without adding another impact player, they had Maxey last year, deserves some real love, some real shout outs. He's wilding 35, but that's like Kobe. He's averaging 35. So I think it'll be Joel, unless one of those players y'all are saying, if either of those players y'all said can get to the number 1 seed, I think it might be different. Like if the Nuggets climb back up or if the Thunder get to the 1 seed, it might be different. But I think off numbers alone and how important he is, it's got to be Joel.
If we're going off numbers, but last year we went off numbers and he won MVP and then they got bounced from the playoffs like immediately. And it wasn't, I won't say it wasn't all on him, but we're talking about a guy who's an MVP, but if he goes up against Bam Adebayo, he's nothing. Like what, like I don't like fraudulent. Yeah. That's a fraudulent MVP to me.
It's a regular season.
He'll go up against Miles Turner or Bam Adebayo in the playoffs. Won't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Regular season award.
I can't help but notice Neither of you guys mentioned Anthony Edwards, which is, of course, the Timberwolves are number one in the West, or Jason Tatum. Of course, the Celtics are number one in the East. Why do you think the number one teams don't have an MVP candidate?
Their teams are too good.
Their teams are too damn good. Because that's exactly what I was going to say.
And that's unfortunate for the best players on that team, but their whole team is too good. I'm trying to think back to a time where like a whole team was good and a player won MVP, and I feel like the closest was Jokic with the Nuggets. But then you look and like they just had, like you would say, their two is Jamal Murray, and he really only kicks up for the playoffs, so it's a regular season award, like Kaim was saying. But if you look at the Celtics, like, well, we don't know what Jason Tatum would do without all this around him. We don't know. We don't know what Anthony Edwards would do without two of the best power forward center, probably the best power forward center combo in the league.
Yeah,
we don't know. And so, like, you know, there's other players where it's like, I know, like, you're confident that if they were to go to another team, they would still have the same impact. Like, even like Jokic, Luka, Giannis, like these guys, Shea. I think if you put those guys on any of the teams, their numbers are relatively the same or better because the teams are worse.
Yeah. Okay. Bro, the team is amazing. Boston's team is crazy. On 2K, when I go play their team, and you know how it shows everybody's overall in the starting lineup, I'm like, hold up, dog. Tatum's like a 96. Brown's like an 89. Drew Holiday's like an 87. Derek White's like an 85. Everybody in their lineup, see, they don't have like a lot of 95 players. Obviously, Jason Tatum is the best player on the team, but the whole team, Kristaps Porzingis is a former All-Star. Jaylen Brown is a former All-Star. Drew Holiday is a former All-Star. It starts to hurt him. And with the Timberwolves, it's the same. I love Anthony Edwards, and I was gonna force him into this conversation actually, just because I like him. But I think with both teams, too, another big reason. I think this is an indictment on the basketball world, bro. Both of those teams are winning defensively, especially the Timberwolves. The Boston can score as well, but the Timberwolves are really just sitting in the chair and locking you up, bro. Locking you up so much that it's not that sexy. Rudy Gobert is playing better, which is kind of surprising. Karl-Anthony Towns is still knocking down the three. So I think the players that we mentioned, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Shea, they're famous because of their offense. Joel probably does make a little bit of defensive impact, but when you're just watching the game as a fan or when you read about the game or look at the highlights, it's skewing towards the offensive players. So where these dudes are playing defense is not good. And I think it's actually kind of bad because Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum kind of quietly are elite defenders. Like, I watched the Mavericks and Kyrie Irving beat the Timberwolves, but down the stretch, Anthony Edwards was guarding Luka, which I thought they were going to put Jaden McDaniels on him or somebody. It was wild. And he was stopping him, but it didn't matter because Kyrie Irving went God mode. So I just think defensively it makes it hard for him. Yeah, the one guy I will force into this conversation, though. The one guy. We talk about propaganda.
Who else?
So we're talking about Brother Bron. No, we're talking about AD.
All right.
I think Anthony.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say at this point, I would say AD before Bron. Okay.
Yeah, bro. I just wanted to see your faces, bro. I think the Lakers are the 10 seed right now, so AD is not gonna win. But bro, the way he's been playing, he's been averaging like 35 for a month on like 70% shooting. He's playing like prime Shaquille O'Neal. His jump shot's coming back. He's locking up on defense. If they can win games, then this dude could win the MVP.
Bro, they just need a 5-game winning streak. And then everybody's like, yo, has AD been playing this well this whole time? That's all they need. But they can't do it. I don't know why. Like, I don't remember the last time they went on a long winning streak. It's probably the beginning of this. It was probably the in-season tournament, actually.
Probably the in-season tournament. Bro, it seems like since Anthony Davis has been playing like an MVP, they've been losing. And I'm wondering what's going on with that.
So then it's like, can Anthony Davis be your one? Nah, it's not his fault. It's actually the rest of the team and Darvin Ham, like I've been saying.
Yeah, bro.
I said this a long time ago, brother.
They're very lucky they won these last 2 games. Darvin Ham was this close to getting fired. The articles were coming out.
He was on the chopping block. He was halfway out the door, and then they won these games, and they're like, we can't fire him after winning.
Can't fire him. I know Bron's even mad, probably. Valley.
I told y'all not to win this one.
Hey, man. That was a great first half. MVP candidates, we got a lot of names out there. We'll see. We're only a little bit of the way through the season. I think we're so early that somebody we didn't even mention still has time. Like, even if, let's say, Jason Tatum just starts averaging 36 for the rest of the season, I feel like he has time. So we'll see if Giannis has anything to say. We'll see if these players go. But let's take a break before we come back into halftime with Katt Williams. All right. See y'all then.
We did disrespect Giannis.
And Halliburton, low key.
Less Halliburton.
Oh, forgot about Halliburton.
Oh,
I mean,
if Halliburton's not on that Pacers squad, they're in the lottery.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if De'Aaron Fox isn't on the Kings, they're in the lottery.
Oh yeah, but nobody respects the Kings.
But they have big Sabonis, bro.
Yeah, and they have Sabonis.
The Pacers have nobody.
I'll be honest,
the Pacers have role players.
You cut out for a good 15 seconds.
Yeah. Yo, and me and I was like, should we say anything?
Yeah, I'm like, should we time out this whole joint?
And then kind of was like, and then when you came back, you're like, yeah, I'm pulling this joint up, and we were just like, okay.
Did you hear me say? We'll edit that out?
Bro,
I heard you say that.
Bro, I saw y'all acting weird, bro. Y'all were laughing up a storm in the middle of while I was talking about Embiid, and I'm like, yo, low key, that joint's not that funny. Like, why? Because y'all never went out for me. That's why I didn't know. Y'all never went out for me. I could see y'all the whole time. I'm like, why are they laughing so hard, bro? I'm just talking about the average 35 points.
I was trying to keep a straight face because I was like, yo, I know he's still talking numbers right now.
And then I said, well, right when I said we'll edit that out, you came back. So I should have just not said nothing.
and then I was like, maybe we won't.
It was just so awkwardly long. I was like, oh my God, like, is he going to come back?
Bro, it's going to be funny. It's funny. It's a goof. But the good news is Riverside is so elite that it actually won't show it. Well, I mean, it might, like, if we said something weird or we looked weird, it'll show it. But, like, Riverside overpowers Wi-Fi outages.
I wish I could, like, you can mute someone for a second. Like, I wish I could have muted myself and not even, like, said that.
Oh,
like,
no.
Could you, like,
I don't know.
that 1 second just, like, mute myself.
To do that, you got to get some real editing software. Maybe you could do it in iMovie. I doubt it, though, to be honest. Unless you, maybe you can mute the whole thing for 1 second. Either way. Woo. Brother Katt. I'm about to do like you, Greg. I got to write down the names of all the people he took shots at so I don't forget when we talk about
y'all gotta remind me.
I know nothing about this. I'm low-key about to be quiet and just make jokes.
Bro, you might just have
you
to
didn't watch
it. You might know so little, you might just have to admit it, bro, on air.
Maybe y'all can explain it to me, too.
Yeah, we could do that. Or you can just have egregious takes because you didn't watch.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I didn't watch it. Daniel, what's going on? And then we'll have a dialogue.
Yeah, we can do it. All right. Yo, bro, Steve Harvey looks hilarious. All right. Oh, I forgot he was talking about. Yeah, he was talking about everybody, bro. All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
We'll get going. I'll explain it a little bit, bro. Y'all can jump in. This is convo, bro. Dang near relax and just. This is convo. That's when we're at our best.
The wish in.
Yeah. We are. Hold on. Turn your camera off and then dang near. We'll slide back in. Nice. We're back for halftime with 3 in the key. And we're going to be talking about Katt Williams. Katt Williams has been in the news all week. He had a lot to say. Katt Williams came up close, saying, hey, Katt, come on 3 in the key. Come on 3 in the key, man. You got a lot of energy. We would love to have you. But Katt came in here and straight shots for all comedians. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Diddy, Michael Blackson, Kevin Hart, Jonathan Majors, Tyler Perry, and more, bro. He's going at everybody. He's going at Ludacris. He's going at people's wives. He's going at people's kids. He's going at people's weight. So, man, he had shots on Club Shay Shay. Shout out Shannon Sharp. Did y'all see that, man? What do y'all think?
Now, I don't know a lot about this, so Jay, I'm gonna need you to give me a slight breakdown of what's going on.
All right, I'll give you the rundown. So
Yeah.
on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp, he likes to interview people. So I don't know if it was a series or what, but he was interviewing like half these people that Katt Williams took shots at. Or I won't even say take shots because the way he was talking about it, he was just telling the truth. That's what he was saying.
What he said.
He was like, I'm telling stories from my perspective.
Yeah.
So Shannon Sharp like interviewed these guys like Cedric the Entertainer and stuff like that, and they were talking about their time in comedy and things like that. And Katt Williams was like, well, you see a lot of these older comedians didn't make it because they weren't that funny and all they did was steal jokes. He was like, oh, that's why Steve Harvey hosts Family Feud. That's why you never hear about Cedric the Entertainer. And he was like, the comedians you do hear about, you hear about them because they're wearing dresses in movies.
Yeah. Bro, he was really on him, bro. He said Ricky Smiley was lying, saying he stole his role. Bro, he said some stuff that if it's true, he's gonna get in trouble with the Illuminati. He said some stuff that like he's gonna have a target on his back, bro. He was talking about it openly. Shannon Sharp said, "Yo, are you related to Ludacris?" Which I don't know where that came from, by the way. And Katt Williams said,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, like, is that a thing? Is that a rumor? Y'all gotta let us know actually in the chat. I mean, in the comments. But Katt Williams said, "Nah. I mean, me and him just went to an Illuminati meeting together, you know. And they said if you just were able to shave your head and do all this, we'll give you 10 movies and $20 million." And then he was like, "And guess what number Fast and the Furious is on?" He was on him, bro. They said Tyler Perry can't act unless he's in a dress. Katt really came on here with energy. But do y'all think do y'all 100% believe everything he's saying? Or do y'all think he's coming in a little hot? Like, what's the motivation behind this? Is it really to set the record straight? Or is this man, I don't know, is this man looking for clout right now?
He doesn't even need to look for clout. I feel like Katt Williams is a universal name. So I don't know if it's a clout chasing type.
I don't think it's clout.
I think it might be jokes. I think some of it might be jokes. Some might be serious, you know. I mean, I think he's joking around a lot, but it may be serious. You know, jokes have some truth to them, so.
Yeah, I don't think he was joking, bro. The only part that was jokes to me is when he said he ran a 4.340.
Yeah, bro. And that man Shannon Sharp said, "Nah, Katt said I run a sub 4.3." Shannon Sharp said, "Jimmy John's across the street. You want to get a sub?" He was like, what you mean sub?
Yeah, I don't think he was joking. No. He was just talking about. At that point, he was just talking about Katt Williams' fun facts. He also said he used to read 3,000 books every year.
No,
he's about
3,000 books a year is 10 books a day.
No, like,
but what was like those kids' books? Was like 10 pages long?
Okay. So that's what I said. I was like, all right, maybe they're not all like these 200, 300 page books. Maybe he's talking about like shorter books, like quick reads, 100 pagers.
Yeah.
Even then, that's still a lot of books. But hey, he was also very smart. Like, I didn't know a lot of the things he was saying.
Yeah. And also, he did have a lot of time on his hands. And this is actually no disrespect. Bro, the man was homeless from the age of 13. He like, bro, this man say he turned 13, wanted to fight his pops, and left the crib. And just was chilling in the park, bruh. Doing odd jobs, some legal, illegal, until I guess he got famous. Like, dang. So maybe that brother was in the public library. Because
I was gonna say the public library is the spot for the homeless. Not gonna lie.
Probably trying to be in the place to be.
Heavy.
Dang, man. But I guess the question is this: do y'all think, in general, like, okay, the Kevin Hart's, the Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, are these people bigger than Katt Williams, or is Katt Williams kind of like what level of fame is he compared to these people he's shooting at?
I think he's definitely less famous, but to his point, what he was talking about, he mostly does stand up or he does comedy movies, and he's very selective about what he does. So I personally think he's lower than them in terms of like overall fame, but he could have been on the same level.
Yeah, he could have been. And I actually agree. And I hate to say it, bro. Now I hope Katt doesn't say this because I'm not trying to go back and forth with Katt. But I'm like, bro, going at these people this hard, he might have a little bit of jealousy, bro, because he feels like he's as good as them, probably better than them. He feels like, yo, I'm better than Steve Harvey. How does everybody know Steve Harvey? Like, yo, how is this man doing all these game shows, bro? I'm funnier than him. And what I didn't know is Katt Williams has a tremendous number of stand-up specials on Netflix and available everywhere, like significantly more than most. He has like 20 of them joints. So I think he was coming at it like, bruh, all these people out here acting famous, they're not going toe to toe with me. They're not going bar for bar with me.
Do you think it could be like people like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer are a little bit more digestible in the pretty much in the public eye or the white eye? The white eye.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if white people know Katt Williams like that. No BS. I don't think they know Katt Williams. I think you're like, oh, like you know Steve Harvey, oh the Family Feud guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Kevin Hart. Oh yeah, he was in that movie. Damn near. Do they know Cedric the Entertainer? Do they know Ricky Smiley? I feel like these other comedians that aren't like Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart, they're mostly on black platforms for black people. And now maybe the older generation of white people might know them, but our age white people, no, definitely not.
Yeah,
definitely
you're
not.
Probably right. This is my mom calls this respectability politics, yo. She's a professor in sociology, and bro, if I invited her in here right now, we would all get a 3-hour lecture about it because low key, it is like that. I think yes. To answer your question, Greg, directly, I think yes. Like the way Katt Williams talks, the way he interacts, like the characters he plays, he consistently plays a pimp. It's like at a certain point, Kevin Hart was able to keep himself clean enough. They're not even clean, but just clean enough to where you can be for the kids, you can be for the whites, and I think Katt, bruh, yeah, you know. But he also says that he was just never willing to do any of that Harvey Weinstein funny business.
Yeah, bro. He said I didn't want to be in the Illuminati and I didn't want to wear a dress. So in Hollywood, you gotta choose one.
He also said a weird looking weird face.
Yeah, a weird light skin. What he said he didn't want any. He said I didn't want a light skinned wife with a weird face. I didn't want to wear a dress, and I didn't want to join the Illuminati and cut off my hair. So.
And
this is where I am today.
We're glossing over it. He said he didn't want to suck penis. That's what he said.
No. Yeah. Not only no. Yeah.
Bro, he said Harvey Weinstein is a dog, bro.
Hey, bro.
They said Harvey Weinstein brought Katt Williams into his office and his agents, and Harvey was like, "Yo, you mind if I run you the top?" Yo,
hey man, no words, no words for that. No words.
I don't know, bro. But I'm getting off that because I don't want to end up like Kanye West, bro.
Hey man, this is a children's podcast.
You can't talk about Weinstein too much, bro. He's a very powerful man. Okay. Old Katt Williams, man. He really boosted Club Shay Shay's numbers seriously. Shannon Sharp said, and this is unbelievable to me, he said the podcast has 500,000 additional subscribers since Katt Williams came on. It's their most watched episode so far. So I'm sure Shannon's happy. I'm sure Katt's happy. I don't know if these comedians are happy, but hey, the world keeps spinning.
They're not, bro. They all dang near try to diss him back or with some. Ludacris got in the studio.
Released a diss track?
He released like a diss verse. But it wasn't even a diss verse. It was more like he was saying, he said, I'm not in the Illuminati. I'm like Ludinati. Or he said something like that.
Sounds like. Yeah, that's iffy. I don't know about that one, Chief. Yeah, that one's iffy. I gotta listen to that. But yeah, let us know what y'all think, man. If y'all on Katt's side or not, down in the comments. We're gonna take a break before we come back and talk about another wild boy, Draymond Green. Draymond Green, we'll talk about him. We'll talk about the Warriors and see if they can salvage this season. Back for the second half of 3 in the Key. We talked about the MVP voting. We talked about Katt Williams. Now we're going to finish strong with a little bit of Draymond Green, the most interesting man in the NBA. Like those Eckies commercials, man. We're going to talk about the Warriors. After Draymond's 12-game suspension, can they get right? They're teetering on being out of the playoffs, man. My heroes I grew up on, Steph, KD, LeBron, they're all teetering on being out of the playoffs. So is this a flipping of the page for the Warriors and Draymond, or will his coming back mean a lot to them for the season? We shall see. But what do you guys think, man? Draymond's coming back this weekend. They had a video of him running suicides at practice today. What's going on? How is he gonna look coming back?
Like, like that's actually so ridiculous. Draymond Green is coming back. Look at him run those suicides.
Bro,
like
they gave him a Ben Simmons hype video, bro.
Yeah, like
Ben Simmons summer hype video.
Bro, they said they did him like Coach Carter, bro. Coach Carter, I don't know if y'all seen that, but he was signing that, but he was like, yo, you can play for me if you do 2,500 push-ups and 1,000 suicides.
Yes, flying back fist Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Let's. So it said he considered retiring over his podcast, which is just completely outlandish. Like, what's wrong with him? But the Warriors right now, of course, they're struggling. I mean, they're in the 12th seed now. It doesn't look good for them. And what's scaring me is usually when Steph looks good, like they win, but Steph looks good and they lose, and then Steph looks bad and they lose. So Steph has been very inconsistent recently, and I think he does need Draymond Green back. Now, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on with Draymond Green. I don't know what's going on in his head. He doesn't need to talk about retiring. That's outlandish. That's crazy. I think when he comes back, the Warriors will be better. But it's just, I don't want to say this, but I think the dynasty's over, man. I think the Warriors dynasty is over. They're stunting the growth of their new draft picks because they really haven't had any good draft picks come in since they had Wiseman. Yeah. They have the new guard, Pokashevsky or
Podimski or something like
whatever
that.
His name is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But he's good. It's just the team isn't as good, and the NBA's changed. The NBA has changed. They need longer defenders. They need I don't even know what's wrong with them. They need more scoring. They need everything. It just can't be Steph anymore. They need a better squad all around. And Clay is on the decline.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them. I mean, Draymond, we all know NBA players are unnecessarily dramatic. So they said, stop hitting people. And he said, I'm going to retire.
I quit.
I quit. Like, imagine Ja said that when he was like, I can't flash a gun on IG Live no more. I'm retiring. Like, NBA players are just dramatic sometimes. I don't know. I take that retirement with a grain of salt. Maybe he's just tired because he knows their dynasty's done. But to Grant's point, the Warriors, they're done. I think they're done. We saw it. Even when Draymond was playing, they weren't a great team. They were still like fringe playoff team. Klay Thompson, he admitted in an interview the other day that he's cooked. So he's like, this is what I got now. I've come to terms with it.
Cooked at 32.
Yeah.
At 32.
He had 2 major injuries.
And yes, he did have 2 major injuries, but I thought that as just like a shooter, he was going to be fine, but he was not. He was not fine. And then Steph's inconsistency. They got rid of Jordan Poole, who was the other scoring that they had before.
Yep.
Because he had an incident with Draymond. So now, like, they started calling for Steve Kerr's head a little bit, Steve Kerr was he's not on the chopping block like Darvin Ham was, but people are starting to question, is he a good coach? Because his rotations don't make sense either.
Mm-hmm. And I know you've seen the issues with, Jonathan Kuminga's been complaining about playing time. Moses Moody's been complaining about playing time, which are valid reasons. Like, they're putting in Klay Thompson, who is not as efficient scoring, is not moving as well on defense, isn't as athletic, and to be honest, Kuminga's been a more productive wing, so it makes sense. Yes, Steve Kerr, system coach. He's a system coach. He had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They got out Mark Jackson because they couldn't have a black man running a dynasty, so they had to get Steve Kerr up in there, and he finally has to figure out how to coach, and he's never had to do that because he's had the greatest shooter in all time and the second greatest shooter of all time in his backcourt.
Hey, those are them's fighting words. Them's fighting words.
Yeah.
They said that dude was a terrible coach. But look, I'm gonna address the Draymond thing, and then we're gonna get to Steve Kerr. Because Draymond actually made me mad, bro. Draymond actually made me mad going on this tour talking about, oh man, this is all getting to be too much for me. I just don't. What are you talking about, bro? Like at a certain point, no, as a man, as a human being, at a certain point you have to take accountability, dog. Like I've done dumb stuff. I don't blame him for doing dumb stuff. I've probably done dumber stuff than Draymond Green, and he has to live his life on camera, so I understand. But bro, when they catch you and when you get the consequences, the least you can do is say, bruh, I probably shouldn't have hit Yusuf Nurkic with a goddamn Cobra Kai spinning back fist. I probably shouldn't have kicked Steven Adams in the balls. I probably shouldn't have poked James Harden and LeBron James in the eye. I probably shouldn't have grabbed Rudy Gobert like an animal. I
probably shouldn't have punched my teammate, Jordan Poole.
I probably shouldn't have socked my own teammate. I probably shouldn't have during WWE stomped DeMontis Sabonis. in your response, after all of this, when they say, Draymond, you just need to take 10 plus games off because you're wilding, is, yo, I quit. It's ridiculous, and it makes me think he's close to retiring, bro. Because 5 years ago, that wouldn't, like, he's been suspended before. This never is your response. Like, you don't say quit. Kind of like LeBron, in a much different light. Like, after they lost to the Nuggets, his mindset after that game wasn't, yo, let's run it back. Like, we got to get him next year, like it probably would have been in 2011. His first thought of the interview is, bro, I might quit, bro. And I think when you're saying that, that means you got to listen. It might not happen right now. It might not happen next year because there's a lot of money on the table. But I think Draymond's career is coming to a close, unfortunately. I just hope. Do y'all think he's going to do something crazy again, bro, this season?
I mean, when you put it like that, I don't think he's going to do anything crazy. Rest of the season, man. Hopefully not. I hope not. Actually, I don't know. What
do you think the next punishment would be if he does something crazy? He was just suspended indefinitely. He does something crazy, he's done for the season, bro. He has to be. Because at that point, he's playing in Adam Silver's face.
Yeah, and Adam Silver doesn't play about the bread, so I don't know. I hope he doesn't do anything. I'm wondering maybe we should bet on what he does next.
Yeah, really.
Will it be a roundhouse kick today near Jakob Poeltl? Or is he going to shove Chris Paul into the third row? I don't know.
He hates superstars on the other teams. He hates foreigners on the other teams, bro, especially big men. Bro, I think where it really crossed the line for me is, bro, knocking out your own teammate, dog. Bruh, you're out of control, brother. Because you can get mad at your own teammate. I understand that. And Jordan Poole, as we see with Washington, might not be a winning player by himself. Like, I get all that. But, I mean, bro, team chemistry. Mm-hmm. Team chemistry, yeah, that's a very short-term W.
I think it was only bad because that was on camera and that got leaked to TMZ. Because, them boys in Miami were saying, like, Bam Adebayo and Udonis Haslem were saying, yo, that boy James Johnson don't play. Somebody called him a bitch during practice one day. He said, see me outside when we're done. And he beat him up. He beat him up.
Yo,
they said James Johnson is a kickboxer. He don't play that.
No, bro. James Johnson is somebody you should not step to. Like, I don't know if they thought it was a game. James Johnson has professional fights under his belt. Like, I would, bro. That's who Draymond Green needs to fight. Actually, if you want to fight, bro,
to go out with a bang.
no. If he hits James Johnson, I'll respect him. I'll respect him at that point, bro. That would be different. But
the greatest fighters: James Johnson, Ron Artest, Charles Oakley, and Draymond Green. Put him in a ring. See what happens.
I don't think Draymond Green's the biggest fighter. He's low key a bully. Because if we're trying to take Draymond against any of those other guys, he's last.
No, bro. Yeah, because he's not crazy for real. Like they say, Ron Artest is crazy.
He's not gonna punch a fan,
bro. Look at this.
Draymond Green's not gonna punch a fan, bro. Are you kidding me?
This dude says James Johnson is one of the most physically formidable players. This is from Sports Illustrated. Players in the NBA. Not only is he imposing at 6'7", but players throughout the league know Johnson has a second-degree black belt in karate with an alleged 20-0 kickboxing record and a 7-0 mark in MMA. Bro,
he's undefeated.
Bro, why are you hooping? Why are you hooping, dog? But yeah, man, we'll see what happens to the Warriors. Now to the Steve Kerr stuff y'all mentioned, the coaching, the team. Bruh, I don't know the last time I heard maybe a superstar like Giannis, LeBron. I don't know. I cannot remember a time where I had role players complaining about their role on the team so much that the point where it came out publicly and they're asking the coach questions about it and the players questions about it. That's a
crazy.
Little wild, bro. That's a little wild. So it's two separate questions, bro. Y'all already said it's valid criticism, which I mean, Kuminga is looking like one of their best players. I think Steve Kerr he trusts his veterans more, but do y'all think Kuminga and Moody in that situation are handling this the right way, going public with it?
They're definitely not. Steve Kerr lost the locker room, and now we all know. Like, that's what losing the locker room looks like.
Yeah.
Him and Darvin Ham.
Yo, this man keeps talking about Darvin Ham. He's sneaking Darvin Ham in there.
No. This man hates Darvin Ham, bro. This man has been consistent since the first episode.
Bro, I don't hate Darvin Ham. He's the coach of my squad.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. But Steve Kerr has lost the locker room, which is crazy to think because, I mean, at one point he was probably one of the most respectable coaches in the NBA, and you thought Steve Kerr was untouchable. But, you know, what is it? Either you die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. And that's what's happening with Steve Kerr. And that's what's happening with the Warriors, for real. And Draymond.
So, yeah, he lost the locker room. And, yeah, I just think we're seeing the slow unfolding of I hate to say this as a LeBron fan, but probably the best franchise, like, of my basketball fanhood. Like, since I started watching in 2010, the Warriors and LeBron, just as an individual, have been probably the most successful things. The Heat have been very successful too. A lot of these teams are good, but the Warriors are probably at the top of that in terms of just organizationally. They were able to sign Kevin Durant to a championship team. They drafted Steph, Clay, Draymond, and they hired Steve Kerr, which I kind of agree with you, Grant. They got Mark Jackson out of there, but it was hard to argue with because they immediately won the championship.
That's true.
And then they lost one, and then they won two more. So it's kind of sad to see. But the last thing I'll say is last year they were the 6th seed, and they got to the second round. I think it's a situation where if a young team like the Thunder or the Kings have to face up against the Warriors in round one, I'm not ready to bet my house yet. I'm not ready to bet my house against Stephen Curry.
I respect it. I will. I'll bet my house.
They're done, bro.
I think the playoffs is
okay. When y'all say they're done, do y'all mean done? No championship, done? No Western Conference Finals? Like, what do you mean done?
Oh, championships out of the question. Conference finals, I also think that's out of the question. Okay. Playoffs. Honestly, if Ja Morant didn't get injured, they'd be below the Grizzlies in a couple weeks. So,
yeah, they don't look good. They're not. I mean, they're struggling against the Pistons.
Everybody.
They're struggling, and when you struggle against the Pistons, you have to really look at yourself in the mirror and decide what kind of squad you are.
Actually, so bad we forgot to mention Chris Paul because he's been a non-factor.
Oh yeah, Chris Paul's injured.
Is a non-factor.
Yeah, that man had surgery.
Yeah. A lose trade happened. A lose trade happened, and now we got Chris Paul out here on a team he can't make an impact on. It's really wild. So, we'll see about these Warriors, man. Like I said, it's shocking as a fan to see the season come down like this and see teams like the Timberwolves and the Thunder be at the top of the playoff picture while the Suns and the Warriors and the Lakers kind of struggle to make it there. The Clippers are hanging in there for the old guys. So maybe we'll talk about them in the future. But we appreciate y'all staying with us for the full episode, man. If you made it this far, you're very special to us. Make sure, again, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Follow our show on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. We appreciate it.
I'm going to TikTok.
We'll see you next time.
Powered by Riverside.